Hello, and welcome back to the North. In today's video, we're going to comment on another video that was made by Dr. Novak. He's into under gravel plenum filters, like another type of filtration. He's big on anoxic filtration, which is definitely something I use, and I appreciate anoxic filtration. As many of you know, my approach to filtration is use it all. Literally, I use all approaches in my tanks and systems. I try and pack as many different types of filtration in as I can because they all have strengths and they all have weaknesses. So if you use them all, you know, you're going to get one type's strengths making up for another type's weaknesses. And that's my approach. That's my mentality to filtration. There's no one way. There's many ways, like we all know. But my way is to use every single one of those many ways in my tank. And if you want to call it over-filtering, that's okay. I don't mind. It's just the way I like to do it, and I like the quality of the water I receive from it. So, I'm also big on the anoxic filtration. In fact, these under gravel plenum setups, I don't want to put it inside my tank because I don't want to lose that much water volume inside my tanks to gravel. But you notice I have the barrels. I will be installing one of those in the barrel down here in the basement, the big blue one actually. And I'm going to run one of those plenums in there for this entire system down here, because I want that advantage. So that being said, he discusses a video I made a couple months ago. I guess he's just caught up to it recently, and as many of you know, that there's been an ongoing minor sort of, I don't know, skirmish, I guess you could say, between the swamp tankers and myself. They're definitely not happy I coined the phrase swamp tanker. It's definitely out there now, or swamp tanks. They don't like that. But, you know, the gentleman, Mr. Novak, he sort of understood what I was getting at through most of the video, and then towards the end he seemed a little bit, it is confusing. I think he thinks that I think that the channel in question, the operator or owner of the channel in question, not the operator, because he's paying people to operate his channel. There's the distinction. I think that's the part he doesn't get, is there are people doing algorithm manipulation in favor of the channel in question. I don't like to mention names when I'm, you know, I just don't like to do it. There's policies and things. That's why videos vanish. Skeptic Aquatics name names. You know, I was even criticized for not naming names, but then all the videos where he names names, they're all disappearing now. So that's why I didn't do it. But anyhow, I didn't know what was happening to me entirely until Skeptical launched his little video series on the channel in question. The Swamp Tank King, the individual I refer to as Jim Jones, the Jim Jones of Fish Tube. So I knew that my comment section was under attack. I knew that when someone commented and they were new to my channel, it was being flagged and those comments were disappearing. In fact, I replied to Mr. Novak's video yesterday, and my comment has also disappeared. I don't think Mr. Novak had anything to do with that. I think the video's being watched. I'm being watched. I think they have an AI algorithm scanning YouTube for undesirable stuff, and then they go after it. But anyhow, why do they do this? Mr. Novak was pretty correct in describing how, people do these things to make more money. The part I think where he was confused is, how can an old man pull this off? Well, they simply pay somebody on the other, a team of people on the other side of the world to do it for them. I don't want to target a specific country or anything else, but because, you got to be sensitive about that kind of thing. But basically, there are bot farms that you can pay to break YouTube's policies and boost your channel. And you can also pay YouTube directly to boost your channel. There's two ways to do it. Skeptic put up metrics on the channel in question, and you can do that. You can actually pull up all the statistics on any YouTube channel you want and analyze them. And he broke it down, and he showed how the channel went from basically just like any other channel, a channel that was certainly not as popular as Mr. Novak's channel is now. And then almost overnight, he went to 200,000 subs. And when you look at the traffic history from that period of time, it was all coming from Southeast Asia, which also doesn't make sense because North American YouTubers, we get some traffic from there, but it doesn't turn into like a big, massive, boost like that from that part of the world. So he was basically, in his videos, he proved that so-and-so is using a bot farm, that his subs are not real, his sub count's not real, that 200 or 300,000 sub count the individual has is not real. His real sub count is probably only in the 10,000 to 12,000 range. A lot of his comments are not from actual subscribers. If you look at the names, they're numbered names, and they're accounts that don't get used. They're bot accounts, and they all reply. He gets thousands and thousands of replies from these bot accounts, and very few he's getting real replies, no doubt. But why is this happening? It's algorithm manipulation, so that his videos will show up and yours won't, and then he gets to pitch his idea on aquarium keeping. Nobody gets to see yours, and he gains market share. He sells more mud. That's the motivation. So there was some confusion, I think, from Mr. Novak as to how, an old man could pull something like this off. But a 6-year-old could pull something like this off if he's got enough money to pay desperate people that live in Southeast Asia who will do these things for very little money. And they're very skilled people. They're good with AI, they're good with scripting, and they just set up computers that will sit here and scan YouTube for keywords that are offensive to their customers, and then they go after it. And that's what's been happening. And it's really affected FishTube. And it's really, that's what's driving the swamp tank trend. I can't imagine why anyone would want to look at such a tank. I know that some people can do it successfully, but when the issue I was taking with the what I call swamp tank scene is Jim Jones himself was telling people to put these discus fish in those tanks, and that's a no-no. These fish will not live in those tanks. And at that point, I saw him as setting people up for failure, so I started speaking out against it. And because I started speaking out against it, my channel became inundated with attacks from these bot farms. So to be clear, that's what I was getting at. I didn't know about the bot farm side of things until Skeptic taught us all about it. And then Skeptic also taught us about the man's history, which is basically shows that he's lived a scrupulous life. So when you add it all up, yeah, I firmly believe that's what's going on. He's shown us the data, and it doesn't lie. Your channel data won't look like that. My channel data won't look like that. The King of DIY's channel data doesn't look like that. But Jim Jones's does. He's an anomaly. And there's nothing honest about any of it, unfortunately. But that's just my humble opinion. I hope you all have a great day.